With your forecast update from the National Weather Service office in Phoenix, I'm meteorologist Jared High on this Thursday night, April 14th. We're going to talk about our weather in the short term and then also switch gears toward the second half of this video and update you on the drought situation as well, which is pretty tough across parts of the country, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, here you can see on the satellite image some clouds to our north from the state border with Utah northward. That's where jet stream energy is concentrated right now, and that's where active weather will be found over the next several days to come. Unfortunately for us, that is not going to lend itself for much change in our weather or give us any rainfall opportunities. Also, just extraordinarily dry air in place. We're getting toward the driest time of the year. We know that. But still, when you have dew point values in the single digits and teens below zero in some cases, like we've had today in southeast Arizona, parts of New Mexico, even parts of West Texas where dew points were in the low 20s below zero today, that put the humidity value, the relative humidity, at 1% for a time, at least at one observation location. So this is tough on the skin, tough on the sinuses. Take it easy out there, of course, with the direct sunshine too this time of year. You can get overheated in a hurry even though you don't have the humidity to deal with like they have back in the eastern part of the country. So dry air in place, and that lends itself to a pretty calm forecast. We're going to see a lot of sunshine for your Friday, a few high clouds off and on, filtering out the sun occasionally, those high temperatures across the lower elevations, mainly in the mid and upper 80s, with 60s and 70s in the higher terrain. Now, pushing ahead toward Tuesday here, this is the mid-level jet stream pattern. Notice all of the active wind energy is to our north. We have calm conditions with that ridge axis across the Mexican border with the U.S., and that will continue to give warming conditions for our region. This is the temperature trend for Phoenix, calling for low 90s by Saturday, Sunday, rising into the mid and upper 90s by the early part of next week. And with no big weather systems coming, our weather risk outlook here, the only concern really over the next 7 days to come is the low heat risk that we will start to see creep back into the picture beginning Friday and into the middle part of next week, including the weekend. Bad news. Rainfall forecast is nil for Arizona and Southeast California. You have to go almost to Salt Lake City or all the way north into Central California to find some precipitation. It will be a very heavy precip event across the Pacific coastline north of San Francisco, but none of that energy is going to clip this far south. And this is kind of a big problem, of course, because we're trying desperately to find some rain in the pattern to break down this drought that continues to expand. Take a look here across the country. If you are essentially west of an Omaha to Wichita to Dallas line, all the way to the west coast, you've got drought conditions of varying severity. Parts of Texas, New Mexico, Nevada, all the way up through Oregon and Montana, that red and maroon shade, that is extreme or exceptional drought. Here in Arizona and Southeast California, again, we have at least abnormally dry conditions in most parts of central Arizona, with the rest of the state into Southeast California even worse, with severe or extreme drought status currently in effect. No big changes in the offing. As I showed you, no big rains are forecast, so take a look here over the Colorado River. It's bad news persisting. I'm going to take this full screen so you can see. The Colorado Basin River Forecast Center issued this guidance today showing that from April through July, Lake Powell is forecast to only receive 64% of average inflow, and the reasonable best case scenario would only be an average amount of inflow, and that's only a 10% chance of occurrence. So once again, just a continuation of what has been a long-term drought situation and overall just bad news for the Colorado Basin that we'll be continuing to update you on. In the meantime, hopefully everyone has a good evening and stays cool over the next several days. Thanks for joining us here from the NWS Phoenix.